Hello, welcome to another edition of the Success Principles for Housewives and Stay-at-Home Parents. My name is Dr. Mrs. Blessing Ishomo, and today is day 54. And today's success principle is keep your agreements. I am a certified leadership coach, a certified trainer of the Success Principles online, and a family and sex coach, and also a network marketing professional. For the past 53 days, we've been looking at an amazing book that has transformed my life, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And we're taking one principle each day to apply into our daily lives and see how we can achieve our goals before the end of 2021. Today's goal is one of those that the first time I heard it, I struggled. And the reason I struggled with it is for the fact that from childhood, I have learned to act that way. So for those who can relate, you run to your mommy and say, please buy me biscuits when you're coming back from we call it the open air market. They might call it deli, or if you say going to the mall, for our friends outside the country to understand. And then the mommy says, oh yeah, I'll buy you biscuit, I'll buy you sweets, and you're very, very happy. And then when the time comes, mommy doesn't buy biscuit or sweet, and when you're crying, mommy, but you said you buy me biscuit or sweet. Will you keep quiet? Do you know how much this is? Please eat your food. And then you grow up learning that, okay, to get someone off your back, you just say yes. And so when I first heard, keep your agreements, it was a struggle. I felt really bad. I was, wow. Sometimes, you hear people say, you say to someone, you just said yes to something, but you have another appointment, but I say, let her go, so that I can have my space. You don't have any plans of keeping the agreement. Do you know that before now, it was something very huge? When somebody says something, especially even in the Asian cultures, your word is your bond. Before this time, it was taken seriously when you say something. But now, people can just make or break agreements on the go. Say, but you said you do this thing. Well, I changed my mind. Conditions changed, so I'm sorry. And the quote that started this particular principle said, your life works to the degree of how much you keep your agreements. And this is very, very important, because people would look at you, relate with you in the way you keep your agreements. If you are someone that is not trustworthy, you might lose out on very important things. You can only fool people as many times as you can. It cannot be forever. And so when you have a lot of people having these issues of, I don't trust him, I don't trust her, or don't take her seriously, don't give her something important to take care of, it affects the quality of your life. Jack Canfield talked about how if he has seminars that will run in 2 days, from the beginning, that very first day, he would talk about the ground rules, and he will make people commit to that ground rules. They will actually read it out and they would sign. So things like don't come late, don't drink alcohol during the time of this seminar, or when you go back at your hotel room. Things like don't no side talks, things to be present, engage fully, and all those things. And at the beginning of it, everybody would, affirm that they understand, and they would sign. And then 2-3 days into the program, he would say to the people, if you have broken one out of these rules, stand. And you see people standing, and by the time he goes through and asks them, so why didn't you keep the rules? People come up with different excuses. And some of them, you find out that they know they will not keep the agreement, but they go ahead to say yes, knowing fully they will not keep it. Like someone in one of the seminars knew he was going to drink alcohol that evening, and he said yes. And many times when people say yes, it's just because they are uncomfortable with confrontation. They don't want to question or look like the odd one, so they just say yes, but they know deep down they are not going to do it. And so Jack said, if you are not going to do it, you are actually tricking your brain not to trust you. It's better you say, I don't want to do it, or I will not be able to do it. So imagine when you say to yourself, I will wake up 5 a.m. and take care of this, this, and this. This happens to me. It happens to me, and it's frustrating. So 5 a.m. comes around and you hit the snooze button, or you go back to sleep. And you do this the first day, the second day, third day. You know, by the fourth day, your brain is like, who cares? Our master is not ready to honor this, so we are not capable of keeping this agreement. And you know what? It is bringing down your self-esteem. Thank you so much for watching. And the same thing with when you talk to people and you say to them, I will do this thing, or I will be there by 8 o'clock. And you know very well you will not be there till 10 or 11. I remember in one of my network marketing events, one of our CEOs flew in from the US, and and he was told the meeting was to start. The meeting was for 9 a.m. and he came in 9 a.m. Before 9 a.m. he was there, and the hall and everything about the meeting did not start till almost 11:30. He was leaving. He was wondering. He said, do you know what a pet peeve is? I don't understand. I don't understand. And they kept saying, see, sir, it's Africa Man time. It was, it was not funny. So that word Africa Man time, you know, is linked to this not keeping agreements, and shouldn't be. We should all challenge ourselves and, you know, work on it, because you're not keeping your agreements to people and to yourself is actually affecting you and affecting your rate of being successful. So if you want your subconscious and your mind to do things that would make you feel confident, happy, and moving closer to your goals, then do things that you can take care of, and you know, you finish it and you have a good feeling, the dopamine, feel good, the serotonin, you feel all these happy hormones all over you. It's better to do a little. So Jack Canfield talks about keeping only the agreements that you know, make agreements that you know you can keep. So tips on how you can take care of these issues, and these are things that I'm working on. 1, please think before you make the agreements. Don't just say yes, yes, yes. Only the ones you know you can keep. Be bold to say, I'm sorry, I'm really busy now, I won't be able to take this on. Recently, someone sent me a request for a donation, and I know that presently I would not be able to take that on with the bills that I already have. I immediately sent a message and said, please, could this wait till so and so time, as presently I am pressed. And the person said, thank you, I'll look into it and I'll let you know. See, I'm relieved, the person is relieved. You don't say, yes, yes, send it to me, and you don't do anything about it. So be bold to say no in a polite way. Secondly, write down your agreements, or let someone know, set a reminder, because sometimes you innocently want to do it, but you forgot. Anything not written down and it's just here, the brain can forget in a matter of 37 seconds. Science backed, research backed. So you need to understand that you need to put down reminders. Don't leave everything in your, I have one some time ago. I have this hair stylist. She's really nice. The only issue is that sometimes she doesn't keep appointments, and whenever you ask and you say, oh, I'm about, oh, and she says it in the dialect. She said, Moti bagbe, oh, I've forgotten, sorry, I'm so sorry. She's good, but that can really be annoying, especially when you've planned everything. So in order not to forget, write it down. Do only the things that you know you can take care of. Don't take more than you can. And for any reason you would not be able to meet up, the earliest time you notice, oh wow, there was traffic more than I expected and I'm supposed to be there by 10, you immediately send out the message. Call the person. Hey Tonia, thank you for joining, and say, sorry, I am running late. You see, when you do that, it shows that you have respect for their time and you respect them enough to let them know. I shared in one of the videos about, someone, and especially even tailors, when you would ask them, so have you done the job? You give them the material, all the styles. They say, yes. It's just remaining tacking. It's remaining the designer to just weave this area. And they've not touched the cloth. And you say, okay, I'm coming this evening. They say, don't worry. If you come this evening, you will get it. And they've not touched it. And then when you come, it's either they put their phone on do not disturb, or the phone is switched off. Or you come, the place is locked. Why go through all that stress? Keep your agreement. And if for any reason at the earliest moment you know you can't keep it, you reach out immediately and say, this is what I'm facing, this is what's happening. Project managers understand this very well. You can have this beautiful thing on paper, but when you get to the field, things may change, policies may change, different things may happen. You don't keep quiet. You go straight and you get the person involved. And then the fourth thing is learn to say no often. Learn to say no often. Learn to prioritize. And Jack Canfield would say he keeps his he puts the no sign on his phone, on his the board, the things that he's seeing all the time, just to help him. Thank you so much. Just to help him remember to say no. Especially if you're a people person. If you're someone that is always wanting to help people, you fall into this trap. Because you don't want to look bad. So you always, don't worry, I'll get to it. Don't worry, I'll train you. Don't worry, I'll do this. You're amassing. I know I fall into that, from time to time. And so being conscious to say, oh, I'm sorry, things are not working as I expected. I would not be able to do this. I won't be able to come. I won't be able to attend. It's better. The same thing as parents, when your child is asking for something and every time you say, I will give it to you and you don't, or you say, I will come for your recital, your programs, and you are not there. After a while, the child is no longer bothered. I know my mom will not come, or my dad is just saying it. So what do you think you're doing? Like I said, when I started, you're actually telling the child it's not worth keeping any promise. And what does the child do? The child grows up and repeats what daddy and mommy have been doing. So not just for you, please look out for your children and help them to be able to keep their word. Let them be responsible. He talked about one of the seminars he attended that transformed his life. They talked about the rules to the game, or the rules of the game, about 7 things that everybody should agree on. This thing about relating with human beings, it's important that you get it right with your relationships, even how you make money. Everything is linked to people. And if you don't handle relationships, if you don't handle emotions and feelings, you begin to fail without knowing it. I there's a training I do, and I talk to people about the amygdala. Okay, and I make them look at everyone as you see this person, just see this amygdala, see this person, because that's where the emotions, the feelings, and all that reside. When somebody remembers your name and the person is smiling, it means the amygdala is happy. The person is frowning, it means, you know, like Maya Angelou would say, people will not remember you for what you said or did. They will remember you for how you made them feel. So these 7 rules is helping people, you know, focus on what is important. So number 1, if we're coming together as a family, as a group, as a business entity, as a team, the first thing is you will be willing to support our purpose, our values, our goals. You need to sign that agreement that you will be willing. And then the second thing is you will not speak negatively of anyone. You speak with purpose. If you know that what you're going to say would scatter the team, or it's going to make someone look bad, or it's going to make someone look wrong, don't say it. Rearrange it. You know, this would also apply to team leads and managers, line managers, that would come to the team and publicly reprimand one person in the team. Don't do that. So you'll be willing to, you know, support the goal of the business, the goal of the company, and their values, and you speak with grace, with purpose, with the intention to build and not pull down. Number 3, if you don't understand what is going on, or you are not sure, or you disagree, ask questions for clarification. Ask questions intending to understand, because people ask questions sometimes just to show how intelligent they are, or to bring down the other person, or just for the love of arguments. Don't do that. And so if you ask questions and you get the information, you act accordingly with the first thing that I said, which is the purpose thing, the values, the goals, because that's why you're there. And then if you are to make an agreement, please, only the things you know you can do. In a recent leadership training that we just concluded, a line manager talked about something that got him really, really upset. He gave a task to one of his team members, and the person was supposed to finish that task at a particular date. He followed up on the person about 4 times. The first time, thank you so much for the love and likes. I appreciate, thank you. And the first time, the person said, yeah, I've done A, B, and C. The next thing is to do D, E, and F. The next time he called, please, you know that thing, the CEO needs it. He said, I have done A, B, and C. The next is E, and F. He said, no, you said this the last time. He said, oh, okay, don't worry, I'll get it done. On the day it was to get that, he said, I'm sorry, I didn't even understand what you wanted me to do in the first place. He had not touched it. So do not take on tasks that you don't understand or you are not willing to do. So make agreements that you know you would keep. And if for any reason you are having issues keeping that agreement, at the earliest, you know, this story I just shared now, this person could have told the line manager at that first time he called, oh, please, I actually don't really understand what you want me to do. Could you put me through? He did not. So painful, so annoying. So you don't need to wait until things go bad and then you now start crying or start throwing tantrums and start feeling they hate you. No. I am sorry, this thing is not going to come out as I intended. This is my issue, please help me. So we've talked about being willing to support the company or establishment or the family goals, purpose, being respectful in how you use your words. Choose your words to build and not to pull down. If you don't understand something, ask for clarification with the intention to contribute. If you are going to make agreements, only the ones you can keep. If for any reason you cannot keep it or you have some delays, communicate immediately. Thanks, Ogechi, for joining. And Ngozi, thank you. And then number 6, if you notice a problem, then before you start talking, look for ways to solve the problem within the system. And if there is no way, or that what is obtainable cannot solve the problem, provide the solution that you believe would be system-based, helping the company, helping the family move forward, and share with the person that can do something about it. Remember, we said something in our first video, take 100% responsibility for your life. Avoid or stop complaining. When you complain, it means there is a comparison. Oh, this place is too cold. It means you know what it means to be hot. So, and you find that when people complain, they complain about things they have control or they can do something about. You see a lady come back to the house to complain about her boss to the husband, goes to the office and complain about her husband to the colleagues. In this scenario, none of these people, the husband cannot take action over what the boss is supposed to do, neither can the colleagues help her with how the husband behaves. So you, and people do this because they avoid confrontation. They feel some level of discomfort, you know, reaching out, because in their mind they are thinking, oh, this person will see me as bad, this person is, but then they do that same thing behind the person. Nothing is happening. Production is down. So if you are going to talk about a problem, be ready to have a solution for that problem. So you are helping, you know, everyone achieve their goals. And be intentional about saying no. When you don't understand something, you say, no, I'm sorry, I won't be able to do this. And you give your reasons, you explain. So it's easy for people to be carried along. This is a wonderful principle. I would love all of us to go back to the book, The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, and read this, Keep Your Agreements. It will save you a lot of problems with your family. If you all have guidelines and you're following it like this, it will save you a lot at the workplace as well. It will remove a lot of assumptions and, you know, problems. And the last thing about keeping agreements, sometimes if you find yourself procrastinating, you're not, you say something but you don't keep to it, you can actually make a public declaration and say, you know what, I'm going to hit this financial goal, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to read this book, or I'm going to come out with this course, or I'm starting my new online business, whatever it is, and declare that if I do not meet my goal, thank you so much, I would pay, or you name a fine that you know it will be painful. It will be so painful to, you know, pay that fine. So he gave an example of someone who was scared of diving, like diving from a height, you know, into the pool, and the person was really scared, and you know, he had that should I not kind of feeling. He would want to do it, he would stop. So one of those days he just made a public declaration that, you know what, I am going to do this at this particular date, and if I don't, I'm going to cut a check of $1,000 to the KKK club. Now, he's a Jew. He doesn't really like the Ku Klux Klan club because of, you know, the ideology and all that. And so he didn't want to cut that $1,000 check. And so, you know what? Come that day, he was able to dive. He achieved his goal. So you can motivate yourself to achieve your goal by making things harder than achieving the goal. Like one of my mentors, Dean Graziosi, would say, when you want to achieve your goal, there are two sides to it. So you say you want to achieve $100,000, and then you have the visioning, the visualization of, oh, I'm going to buy this, change my wardrobe, pay off my debt, and all those things. They are beautiful, wonderful things that you want to achieve with that money. But he said you can also look at the flip side. When you are now old and you look back to what you would have achieved if you went after your goal, but because you chickened out, now you are, broke, miserable, or you are just full of regrets. Visualize that also and weigh it. Most times people will do things out of pain than out of pleasure. So that thing you can't stand. I just cannot stand myself at the age 70, 80 and look back and see that I just held back myself because of fear. I didn't even start that online business. I didn't even give my children the opportunity to learn or go to the kind of schools they wanted because of all the things I thought about. And now I am full of regrets. That is another way to just say, oh no, I'm not doing that. I'm going for my dreams. Or I'm getting this thing done. So I hope you've gotten value today from keeping your agreements. What would you do in the next 24 hours to move you closer? So we have links inviting you to our inner circle, and also to, if you want a one-on-one coaching. And we are also promoting a brain training event that is coming up. So train your brain for success. Look out for these links. Join. It's free and you get more value. Thank you so much for your time. See you tomorrow, 9 p.m. West African time, for another Success Principle. Bye for now.